Well, we're back again. What's up, guys? Haven't done a video in a while. Life has been nuts. I hate saying that, but sometimes it's just the case. But trying to get back to my roots of my videos, which are knives. So I've got a really cool one here today. This is the Toor Knives Merchant. I've been carrying this knife, excuse me. This is going to be a bit more of a review and less of an actual unboxing because I have actually been carrying this knife and using it. So anyways, let's talk about it. Toor Knives Merchant. I bought this brand new at a local shop. Very nice packaging. It's got a cleaning cloth, really nice looking one. The founder's message. Yeah, pretty cool. Veteran-owned company, made in California, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, California. Guaranteed for life. Really good warranty on these guys. I've heard the company is really good when it comes to warranty type stuff. Cool sticker. Yada, yada, yada. Let's get to the blade. And here we go. So this is the Toor Knives. This is the Merchant 2.0. So they had a 1.0, the first version. This is the second version. It's got some upgrades. And the color combination on this is stone, which to me, it looks just like a roughly, heavily stone-washed titanium. And then I think this is black PVD. Some of them are gun coat. This one specifically, I think, is just a black PVD coating. And the steel on this guy is, I believe, let's see if I can look on here. I don't know why I can't find my warranty card because I don't think I took it out. That's crazy that it doesn't say anywhere. I'm 99% sure this is S35VN though, like I'm almost 100% sure that's the case. Sorry guys, I thought I actually said it on the blade, but it does not appear to say that. But I think all theirs are S35V, and I don't think they've made the switch to Magna Cut or S45 yet, which would be sick. So folding titanium folder. This is pretty standard as far as what we're used to seeing in modern tactical folders. You've got the titanium scales, high-end blade steel, deep carry clip, and frame lock with no insert on this guy, which is kind of surprising. But I will tell you, the action on this guy, and it is on phosphor bronze washers, like the Sabenza, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes. And it's rolling on looks like a standard ball, steel ball detent ball in there. I'm guessing this has been heavily carburized to make really good lockup and no stick. The action on this thing is just buttery smooth. It took a while for the detent ball to wear track in the blade. Other than that, it's been basically smooth from the factory, perfectly centered. Not drop shutty, very hydraulic in the action. I love it. The blade stays where you put it. It's not one of those, I mean, you can get it to kind of drop shut if you really force it, but it's not a guillotine by any stretch of the imagination. So let's talk about it first by design and why I can't get this thing out of my pocket. Not really here to talk about Toor Knives so much as a company and their QC. I think in the past, when they kind of got a bad name right out of the gate when they were first starting out for some QC issues, I've heard that's been squared away now, and their stuff is coming out of the factory very, very well QC'd and not as many issues. So if this knife is any testament to that, I can say this one's basically been perfect as far as QC goes. I have a few nitpicks as far as design, but it's a very good example of what they're capable of. I think for the price point, this knife cost me $295 from the local shop that I bought it from, and I think that is an absolute steal, and we'll get into the reasons why. So the design of this knife, one of the reasons why I can't get this thing out of my pocket is there are two knives that I absolutely love to carry. One is the Benchmade 940. This happens to be the 943 variant with the drop point blade, which I believe has been discontinued. I'm 99% sure. Do you see the similarities? Definitely different, but where it really counts, the blade shape, the handle, the profile, very, very, very similar. To me, this knife is as if the 943 and the Sebenza 2131 had a baby. That is how I categorize this knife. It's got the ergos and the feel and the frame lock and the buttery smooth phosphor bronze action of the Chris Reeve and the titanium, and it's got the blade shape of the 943. The design aesthetic for the blade is incredibly similar to me. Very, very usable, very good for EDC. So if these two got together and had a baby, that's what I think we've got right here. Beautiful, beautiful blade. Let's put these guys to the side. Super, super usable knife. Again, EDC perfection in my opinion. Fits in the hand just perfectly. I love how it's thin in dimension here, so you can really good purchase on it, and it gives you a lot of confidence while using it in this grip. But there's a swell back here, and it just, of course, you can tell the way that it fits in the hand. You've got your kind of shorter, smaller fingers, your longer fingers, and then you've got this meaty part of your hand, and it's just been designed, in my opinion, so perfectly for any of those grips. And it's honestly perfection in use. It truly is. This knife deserves, in my opinion, a lot more hype than it gets. If you get it and you use it and you put it to work and you carry it. I've carried this thing for 2 weeks solid without anything else, just to get a real good feel for it in daily use, and I have absolutely loved it. The blade shape is perfect for EDC. It's got a decent amount of belly for food prep or anything like that, if you wanted to use it for that. It's got this long blade, which I think is very, very nice, very similar to the 943. You get a lot of blade for such a small package, and I really like that. The behind the edge is very thin, very slicey, perfect for EDC. It's not too thick, as you can tell. And the tip is very robust because you've got this swedge that goes along almost all the way to the tip. So not like a PM2 where you've got a really fine, brittle tip. You've got some strength behind it. And it's just a perfect marriage of hard use, tactical, if you will, but also EDC. Like there's this balance between getting into the world of like zero tolerance, where it's too big of a brick and you can't do fine detailed work, and then you've got a PM2 which is almost too small and fine behind the edge and brittle, and it doesn't work very well for more hard use tasks, and you're always afraid that tip of your blade is going to snap off. At least I think that this is just that perfect kind of in between of, again, a large Sebenza, which the Sebenza is slightly bigger, and then a 943. It's just, honestly, it's just an excellent EDC size. Like, the fact that they landed on this size is not surprising to me at all. It's just so perfect, because honestly, with shorts, the Sebenza 21, don't get me wrong, it's not a big knife. I think that it's a large, I would say medium to large knife, maybe is probably where I would categorize it. The small Sebenza, which I meant to grab, is definitely in the caliber of a small knife. And if you notice, this guy just fits right in between. And honestly, if Chris Reeve came out with a medium, small, and then they just called this the large and came out with a medium Sebenza, I think that would be sick. I really do. I think they would sell like hotcakes, because in my opinion, this is just a perfect size. I've worn it with shorts, I've worn it with jeans, I've worn it with dress pants, and the weight, everything about it, it just works. So yeah, I really like it, guys. I really do. I feel like I'm gushing about the knife, but Toor has nothing to do with this video. Obviously, I'm a small YouTube channel, but well done. I mean, honestly, I think this is phenomenal. You know, as long as the QC issues have been worked out, which it seems they have, at least with this example, I can't find anything wrong with the knife. So from a QC, materials type standpoint. So let's talk about some of the nitpicky things that I think that Toor could do to improve upon this knife. So I think the jimping is excellent. Very, very bitey, perfect. I wouldn't change anything about that. I think the thumb studs are a little bit awkward looking, slightly in my opinion. I think they look a little bit big and kind of goofy compared to something like the Benchmade 940. Even the Sabenza, I think, does a little bit better sized. But they do work. They do work very well. So they definitely kind of function over form, I guess you would say, in this case. Action's buttery smooth. I think with the clip, the Gen 1s had this big, ugly clip, I think right in this area, and it wasn't deep carry, and this much of the knife stuck out, and it was ridiculous. I can't believe they ever put that on a knife. But this is definitely a step in the right direction. I think they've nailed the clip as far as how much of the blade the frame sticks out of your pocket. I prefer this a lot. Very stealthy. You know, you wouldn't really know someone's carrying a knife, but it's still just got a little bit to let you know it's there. And if you want to grab it, pull it out, extract it from your pocket. I think it works really well. What I don't understand is, especially in 2023, most of these, the screw that they've used is countersunk into the frame. Why they did not do that is absolutely beyond me on this caliber of a knife, because they've nailed so many other things. And I will say, you can tell when you're putting that in your pocket, that amount that's sticking out, it does catch. And I found it many, many, many times. I'll be putting this in my pocket and I'll have to look down and my jeans will be stuck right here. And you've got to kind of finagle the jeans over to get the knife, you know, sunk in your pocket and seated properly. So I don't know why you would do that. To me, that's a massive oversight. It's like you've done so much to improve on this knife and there's one glaringly obvious thing that you could have done better, but it would not be hard to countersink that. The frame is definitely thick enough. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, even if you wanted to do something like this with like the Sabenza, this is not a deep carry clip, but it does ride pretty close to one. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely ways to correct that. I think everything else about the clip works really well. It's probably not the most attractive clip I've ever seen, but retention is very good. Springiness is very good. It's not too much. It's not too little. In practice, other than that, it works extremely, extremely well. So, yeah, the other thing I noticed, excuse me, take a drink here. The other thing I noticed that could be improved on is, I think right here, they could have scalloped the frame lock portion a little bit better. It is a little bit sharp. Not crazy. I've definitely seen worse, but this whole area of the knife could have been scalped and rounded. This actually is physically sharp. So if you ride up really high, it's uncomfortable. Right here, I think they could have scalped the inside of that just a little bit more and made it a little bit more comfortable. Let's look at the Sabenza. Oh, terrible deployment. This guy has got some gumminess in it. So you see, that's exactly what the Sabenza has done. So they've gone in, scalped it a little bit, given your finger a really comfortable spot to land. It's just the little things to me. I think that if you're trying to compete in this space of knife, I do believe that this is a phenomenal price point for what you're getting, that's made in the United States of America and not overseas. $295 is pretty hard to beat. But it's just, I really want this company to succeed. You know, the fact that they're a U.S. company, they're veteran owned and operated, I think that's very impressive. I like their direction that they're going. I like the quality seems to be there. The design language seems to be there. It's just these little nitpicky things that can take the knives over the top. So definitely scalloping this section right here, I think would be a huge plus. The thumb studs, I think, could be improved upon. I think they could be a little bit more milled in this dimension right here. Maybe keep this, but mill the inside, I think, would give it a little bit more purchase on your finger, possibly. Jimping, excellent. Everything else is nice. I think that this floating blade stop pin that they've got in here, it is floating. And when you get it to the right spot, you realize that it is floating, because when you take the pressure off of it, you can actually hear it rattling. There you go. So it is actually floating in there. I think retaining that to a certain degree, or getting a better fitment in this dimension right there, so you can see how it's got space on both sides of that pin. I think that when it's seated properly and tight, I think that's just a a dimensional change for their equipment, and getting those tolerances tighter and tighter and tighter. I think that would be definitely an improvement versus hearing it kind of, yeah, it gets kind of annoying. Not a deal breaker, but it is something that could be improved upon for sure. I think that's about it, honestly. They've done really good chamfering in all the other areas. The titanium seems really, really nice. The stonewash looks really good for holding up against scratches and things like that. The blade finish has been holding up well. Granted, I haven't put it through crazy use, but it has been holding up really well. Their logo is actually CNC'd into the blade. I think that's awesome. I think it looks great. Be curious to see if it's very prone to rusting, because of that just moisture in your pocket. But yeah, guys, it's a beautiful knife. I love this Merchant 2.0. I like it so much I probably am going to get another one with a different blade shape, or maybe just a different coloration, because for $295, guys, I mean, honestly, like, that's putting you kind of in the world of the 940 budget, a little bit more money. I think these are probably like 175, 180 in the different variants. They kind of go up from there, depending on the blade steel and the handles. But to get full titanium, modern steel, made in the USA, frame lock, not an axis lock, is just, I think, $295. That's very impressive to me. And again, made in the United States of America. To get into, Sabenzas, and they've just done a price increase. I think these are like $525 now, just for a plain Jane, or $550, I believe, somewhere around there. At $500 to $600 in that ballpark, depending on kind of what variation you get. But granted, this one's S45 VN, and some are in Magna Cut now. Well, this one's actually S35 because this is my 21, but the new 31s are in S45 or Magna Cut. So, it's a significant amount of savings for a full titanium frame lock knife made in the USA. I'm impressed with it. I would buy this again. I think the packaging is absolutely on point. Very, very impressed with all of that. So, Toor, if you're listening, keep doing what you're doing, but obviously never stop improving, finding ways to make it better, and listening to the people that are using your knives and carrying them on a daily basis, So, beautiful knife, absolutely love it. Couldn't be happier with it, and can't get this thing out of my pocket. It's awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. Please hit the subscribe button if you're not, and like the video. I really appreciate the support and all the comments. Try to get to those as much as I possibly can. And I think I'm going to try to get into some live videos soon. I don't have a huge audience yet, but I think doing some live videos and hanging out with the fans that I do have, the subscribers of the channel, I think that would be a lot of fun. So anyways, catch you guys in the next video. See ya.